Hi, my name is Stephanie Elliott, and I will be exploring what I have learned during the organizational coursework. Reflection upon my leadership ability. Before taking the organizational leadership coursework, I thought being a leader was someone who took charge and did what needed to be done. A leader was someone who everyone went to for feedback, concerns, issues, and advice. In thinking this way, my leading style was one of trying to take on all the job roles and trying to take on all the tasks by myself. I thought I had to do it all to make sure it was done accurately and in a timely manner. This type of thinking and leadership left me feeling most of the time exhausted mentally and emotionally. I was trying to do too much. My leading style was a bit selfish to my peers, coworkers, customers, and the organization itself. They deserve the best and utmost from a leader. During this coursework, I started to realize that I needed to delegate some of the tasks at hand and allow my coworkers to take on some of the responsibilities for themselves. I did not have to micromanage them. I allowed them to do the task, and this shows the staff that I trust them. By trusting them, they in turn trust me more. I would follow up to ensure it was accurate and done on time. By not taking on everything by myself, I wasn't as exhausted and could see the difference it made in my leading ability, the staff's response, and the teamwork being built. I have learned a great deal throughout this coursework. Each class presented key areas of learning. Reflecting back to issues in organizational leadership, I learned a lot about myself and who I was as a leader. This class opened my eyes to what I thought I was doing correct as a leader, what I could work on as a leader, and how others possibly saw me as a leader. I realized I was often too helpful and not authoritative enough and exhibited a lack of consistency. I have learned that leadership is not just about being in charge or about being in control, but it is about being able to have self-control and remain stable during times of distress. Being a successful leader means being one that can motivate the team to want to work hard for you, as well as share the same goals, vision, and mission statement. Leadership requires strong interpersonal skills to motivate and empower staff and colleagues. This class taught me to be open-minded to peers and colleagues and to have a well-rounded and diverse team. The data-driven decision-making 1 and 2 classes were really intriguing to me. I learned about the process of correlation of data, trends and patterns, graphs, and how to organize and display data for review. Having this knowledge will help me as a leader in my field because I deal with financials and resident and employee trends on a daily basis. I will be able to set up a pivot chart and review the data to find any trends that could be useful. I also gained valuable knowledge pertaining to new technology, trends, and decision making. I learned how stats, economics, accounting, and financials all correlate and are vital to running a successful facility. In my behavior and ethics and leadership classes, I learned some very insightful information. These classes explored the ethics and behavior of organizations, and the papers I researched and wrote about really made me think about all aspects of ethics and what was right ethically, legally, and morally. Reflecting back, just because something is legally right doesn't mean it is ethically or morally right. I believe in doing the right thing, and after taking these classes, I have learned that doing what is right in the end will have you or the organization you work for come out on top. If I expect my staff to do what is right and be ethically sound, then I must set the example and do the same for myself. Ethics is not always black and white. There are gray areas that people can get mixed in, throwing them off course of what is really important and ethically right. I believe you have to stand for what you believe in, even if you have to stand alone. Looking back into the leadership theory classes, I learned how to successfully execute a SWOT analysis and create a process improvement plan. This will allow me to look at my situation, define my weakness, strengths, opportunities, and threats to come up with a plan to improve on. The industry is ever changing, and being able to control and change systems is key to being successful. I feel confident in my ability to define a problem, plan and organize the change, and execute this change successfully. Being able to improve is important, as industries are always growing and going the extra mile to become number one. I feel confident that I can successfully detail a plan for improvement and execute it. In the Leading Change class, I was able to develop a detailed and focused plan for change. This allowed me to learn how to properly set up a plan by identifying the problem, detailing where the issues are, and creating a detailed plan to execute the change. This detail includes the process of the change, the people affected by the change, how information will be shared, the cost of making the change, risk associated with the change, the action plan, schedule of activities, training plan of the change, and the resistance plan. Every change comes with a resistance. In my field of study, long-term care administration, I will utilize this information on a daily basis. We have policies and procedures that we follow. But when a system isn't working properly, a change will need to be made. Having the information from this course will be useful in making those policy changes in my future. In the final stretch of the coursework, Capstone 1 was a very lengthy and at times difficult process, but enabled me to push through the difficult task and reach my final end result. I have learned in this class how to create a detailed strategic case analysis. I learned how to interview other successful leaders. I also learned the importance of engaging our community resources and potential stakeholders. I have gained the skills to thoroughly investigate an organization and define its strengths and weaknesses. By defining the weaknesses, I can implement a strategic case analysis and change implementation. This will be beneficial in my career, as I feel confident in my ability to make a detailed, outlined, professional, and presentable analysis for future stakeholders. This was the most difficult assignment within the leadership coursework, in my opinion, but I also feel it's the area where I grew the most professionally. This class taught me to push my own limits and recognize area for growth, criticism, and perseverance. I learned that sometimes things will not be easy. I may feel defeat, but if I want to succeed, I will have to continue on my way through it. I would say the motto is good things don't come easy, but in the end they can produce great results. Completion of the capstone coursework enabled me to tap into my problem-solving skills, as well as recognizing my own personal strengths and weaknesses. It allowed me to self-analyze and recognize potential areas for change that I didn't even realize needed to be changed. This coursework enabled me to accept a challenge and rise above even my own expectations. I feel I am more rounded as a person and, more importantly, as a leader. As a leader today, I would say I'm dedicated and more educated on how to be successful at leading. I view myself as a democratic leader. I like to get my staff involved in the decision-making process and let their opinions be known. In doing this, I empower them to get involved and take on responsibility. This allows the staff to care about what they are doing and have a passion for it. They feel like they make a difference. This to me is really important. I like to empower the staff. This in turn builds teamwork, respect, and loyalty. I believe that I possess the leadership qualities to make people desire to work for me and my organization. Without having that quality, I wouldn't be able to run the organization alone. As a leader today, I feel that I have gained more confidence, more inner strength, and more tenacity. I have come to recognize my strengths and weaknesses and have learned to let them play off one another. I've also come to the realization that others may possess strengths that I am lacking in, and I can use those strengths to my advantage as a leader. I believe in consistency and following through when you say you're going to do something. If I expect to hold my staff accountable, then I must hold myself accountable too. I've learned as a leader that it is important to follow rules and protocol, but also to allow for some flexibility as situations will arise that are unexpected. The organizational leadership coursework provided a framework for both professional and personal growth. The material was challenging, and it enabled me to look inward and evaluate my personal style of leadership. Being honest and true to myself is important in being a leader to me. From here, I plan to take my state and national boards for long-term care administration. I have been an office manager for a facility for over 5 years, and I absolutely love what I do. Working with the elderly is very humbling and rewarding. My future goal is to become a long-term care administrator, working with the elderly population and leading my own facility. I will guide the staff into great quality of care and create a positive, healthy, successful work environment. I will strive to be a leader who values all positions, from the frontline staff, housekeeping, dietary, all the way up to management. I plan on continuing my leadership education through joining other community leadership programs such as the Rotary Club and Toastmasters. I will volunteer to speak at other public engagements and act as a professional mentor to other students and professionals. To continue my leadership journey, I think it's important to continue to grow as a person and as a leader. In doing so, going to trainings, being involved in my leadership society, and volunteering will enable me to continue growing and learning. Learning is a lifelong process, and I will continue to learn for the rest of my life.